After missing the Sochi Olympics with an injury, Lindsey Vonn has made a strong return to competition since December. Fans are excited about her comeback, and they've shown it on social media. According to data from our friends at MVP Index, Vonn began adding followers at a rapid rate starting in August of 2014. Over 179,000 in all, with a major uptick in the month of January leading up to the World Cup. The numbers suggest that even though Vonn gets a lot of buzz for dating Tiger Woods, she gets a bigger bump when her fans get to see her train and race.
While Vonn was recovering from her knee surgery, her teammate Mikaela Shiffrin stepped up to win the slalom in Sochi and establish herself as Team USA's newest skiing superstar. At age 19, Shiffrin has shown she can handle herself on the slopes, but how is she handling the business demands that come with success? We asked her how her life has changed since winning gold.
I think the biggest change was the 365 days before Sochi, because there's a lot of kind of pre-Olympic work that you do. You know, Procter & Gamble was one of my Olympic sponsors I just had up through Sochi, and we did so many photo shoots and all of this stuff just to prepare for the Olympics. So they had something to show when we were in Sochi, and I didn't have time to do anything. And it must have been 30 hours of just media before the Olympics last year, and then after that it kind of died down. So my life almost changed before the Olympics, honestly, which is kind of a funny thing to say. Since getting the medal, there's been more sponsored opportunities. I got to go to the ESPYs. That was a really fun thing, and there's differences. It's just I'm not always aware of them because my parents and agent my agent, that sounds so crazy when I say that, they deal with that more, and they only bring the stuff to me that they think is really important. I'm getting a little bit more involved now. In the beginning I was like, don't tell me anything. Just make the decisions, try to, fit my personality, don't don't give me a cigarette brand or anything. But for the most part, I mean, now I'm getting a little bit more involved, but I try to just keep it really simple. One of my obligations to my sponsors is to actually post on social media. I try to really be myself with my posts because any number of ski racing fans, anybody who's a fan or following me on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, they really like it when I'm just authentic, totally myself. And if I do something that's super, dolled up with the whole sponsor deal, then they're like, oh wow, you're just another one of those primped out girls or whatever. And I try to just be myself. And also make sure that I'm thanking the people who are supporting me. And I think that's the best way to go. Anything I ever post, I write it out and then I leave it there for a couple minutes and I think about if it could be offensive to anybody in any way, religiously, politically, any kind of a deal. And I think I'm pretty good about being pretty general, not one-sided at all, very broad, and I try to be funny sometimes. I don't know if people laugh.
She's 80 times as popular as I am.
There's a lot to do, but it's also kind of the point, right? I'm here to win races, but also hopefully making money. So thank you to the sponsors.
Back with our special guest co-host, gold medal and successful business entrepreneur Peekaboo Street. You're a legend, you're a great American hero, trailblazer, teacher, but the bottom line is you have some perspective. You've seen Mikaela, how she lives her life. What do you think? How's she handling it?
I think she's fantastic. She is so bright for such a young person, and she has such a big picture perspective. She sees the whole world and keeps it in check, and I think that is really astonishing and admirable. She has a methodical approach to her skiing that she is now, it has worked for her, and so she's using it in the rest of her life. I really am impressed with, not that I need to be, but I'm impressed, and I think she's got a really, really bright future.
Well, but to bore in on the specifics of off-slope versus on-slope, it's really a balancing act, and you have to deal with the time commitment and the pressures of sponsors and the association, et cetera. How's she handling that, and what advice would you give as far as that balancing act?
The one piece of advice I would give her and have given her is make sure that when you create a relationship with a sponsor, that is a relationship you believe in. It's a company you want to work with. It's a product you want to endorse, and it's true to your heart. And the second thing that I advised her to do is make sure that your commitments to those companies aren't bigger than they need to be for you to have your time management still where it needs to be. She needs to be in the gym. She needs to be training. She needs to have her head in the right spot. If she doesn't train and put the time in, it's going to affect her mental game because of the methodical way she's gone about prepping. So she's approached her relationships with corporate America the same way, and been really careful about making sure that her time commitment to them isn't to the point where it's exhausting her. It's refreshing for her, it's fun, and she takes advantage of each situation she's in and makes it a learning opportunity, and that's something I really think is brilliant about her.
Well, and she's got some issues that you didn't have, admittedly, with all due respect to where you were in your sport. The whole social media world is something she has to deal with on a daily basis. How can she continue to be careful as far as that issue goes?
And she is careful. And social media, I'm going to tell you, it's a different beast. Something that I have had to work hard to wrap my brain around, because I prided myself on not being found, on not having people know what I was doing outside of the sport. And now everybody knows everything. And so I look at it as a positive, and so does Michaela. She uses it to her advantage. She uses it as a positive to express herself, to bring forward the points that she wants to bring forward, the things she's compassionate about. She uses it as an opportunity, and here's my favorite thing, to thank people that have supported her, to thank the people that are around her, helping her make it happen. And she's really smart about it.
We have more from Michaela a little later on. Candid thoughts on how hard it is to act her age while she's managing her financial future.
Being a 19-year-old girl who loves to buy shoes, I would tend to just, here, let's buy these shoes, those are cute too, or whatever it is.
But up next, we head to the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, where the USOC has built a sports medicine center that's second to none.
This is an anti-gravity treadmill. It makes them basically like they're running on the moon.
Technology that you have to see to believe. Stay tuned for a guided tour. Beyond the Medals, we'll be right back.
And it's time for our Beyond the Medals knowledge check. Do you know when the Olympic Games were broadcast in the U.S. for the first time? Well, here's a hint. It was the Winter Games, and we'll reveal the answer later in the program.